Hello everybody, how are you doing today? Happy Sunday or Monday or whatever day it is that you are watching this video today. My name is Trisha Schinkel. I am your intuitive spiritual healer and coach from innerbuddha.ca. And today I am going over the weekly energy reading for the week of March 1st. So, you know this old saying, March goes in like a lamb and goes out like a lion, or opposite, March comes in like a lamb or lion and goes out like a lamb. I had a debate with my dad about that today because March 1st is tomorrow, right? And today, I don't know where you are, but for where I am, it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, the temperature is rising, so I would love to hear from you what your take is on that old saying, because tomorrow is March 1st. So to my dad, he's like, well, it's coming in like a lamb, therefore March will go out like a lion. And I said, Dad, it's all about your perception. It's all about how you view it, right? Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for coming on. So it was interesting because we kind of had a little bit of a debate on, what it is that it comes in like. March comes in like a lamb, lion, whatever. I just told Dad that I'm counting on it coming in like a coming in like a lamb and leaving like a lamb as well. That's what it's going to be this week. Why not? I declare it now, so therefore it is, right? So I just wanted to kind of go over the announcements before getting into the reading. So I did want to let everybody know that right now I am booking consultations for my 4-month Awakening Coaching Series. Kim says, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, right? You can declare whatever your reality is, and therefore it is, right? Because you said so. That's it. So I am opening up space. I'm clearing my calendar. So if you are for the next couple weeks too, I'm booking consultations. So for those of you that are having a hard time right now, I know a lot of things are happening, shifting, changing, old ways. We're going to get into that too, about how foundations are crumbling and emotions are kind of being stirred up from that, right? So if you're having a hard time in that respect, this 4-month coaching is definitely for you. And then also on the other side of things, so phase 2 of the coaching is all about intuition. It's all about gaining that, strengthening that muscle and opening up your psychic abilities, because I strongly believe that everybody has the ability to be psychic. Everybody has the ability to read energy or to tap into the infinite or connect with your guides and angels. Like, everybody has this option. If you want that, that's what I can help you do. I teach you everything that I've learned and more. I am opening my calendar for spots for the coaching. So if that's something you're interested, message me, let me know, and we can book a good time for you. So when I tapped into the energy of this week, I just wanted to know for us in this group, just the ones that are going to be watching this and who's going to get the best information out of this, what I really felt was that it's a dawn of a new era. And for a while now, people are talking about the golden age, right? The age of Aquarius, this new found freedom you're gonna get from letting go of attachments, of the old heavy stories, things, people, places, things that are just kind of getting in your way. And you don't even realize it though. That's the thing. We were taught this way of living, and now it's breaking down. The chains are falling off. And sometimes people can get scared because then you'd feel like there's almost like no control. But the opposite is so true, is that you actually have way more control over things than what you really think. It's all about awakening your senses up, waking that conscious part of you up, and bringing forth your own ideas and bringing forth things from you that you've been hiding away, and start tapping into that newfound sense of joy, something that has been, you've been putting off for a while. Now's the time to go for it. Now's the time to go move forward. So what I got was the energy is shifting more and more. And people are starting to wake up. People are starting to get that innate sense, that acute sense that something is happening. And then when you get that sense that something is happening, the natural thing is you start asking questions about it, right? And the more and more you start to question what you thought was true for you, whatever it is, whether that truth, especially if that truth doesn't feel right anymore, if that truth, whatever you think is true for you, is feeling heavy, then maybe it's time for it to break away. And maybe it's time for you to let it go, right? And things start to get heavy more and more once the relationship between you and that thing, or you and that person, or you and that job, or you and that whatever has played out. It starts to get difficult. Things don't start to jive anymore. But the thing is that we get so caught up on the attachment because we're so used to things being that way. We're so used to operating in that fashion that you don't know, that's not a part of your identity. So you don't even know who you are anymore without that thing, without that person, without that job, right? And I kind of got into this with my last video that I shared in the group that, you know, for me, myself, I always chased happiness because I always thought that it was something that you could achieve outside of yourself. But then again, I was operating under the belief that happiness was something that you had to create outside of yourself. It's not something that you could find within yourself. And that's the truth, is that happiness, love, joy, all of these things are already a part of you. You just have been blind to it. You just haven't been aware or awoken to the fact that it's already there. So the more and more you start questioning things that, you know, if that's something that you thought you wanted didn't work out, and you're still hanging on, you're still trying to go after it, why? Why are you doing that? And if you're doing it because you think you want to make somebody else happy, that's the wrong reason for doing it. The whole reason for doing anything is for you to be happy. The more selfish you are, the more you're going to heal, more you're going to acknowledge what you're holding inside of you, right? So now is the time, now that it's a new chapter, you're going to start seeing more and more things kind of crumbling away and falling away and crumbling, and that's not a bad thing. It's not. And the biggest warning is when you do see something that's kind of falling apart and you really feel the innate sense to fix it or, you know, kind of pull it back, don't. If something is falling apart, it's falling apart for a reason, because there's something on the horizon that's actually better for you. So that old has to fall away, it has to crumble, it has to decay, and whatever it needs to do so that you can make room for something bigger and better, because there's always something bigger and better. I can promise you that. So let it go or you'll be dragged. That's the main message there, right? And it's an interesting thing. Let it go or be dragged. That is something that I actually had written on a back of one of my journals for a very long time. It was for a few years I used that journal. And I reminded myself of that. Yet it's interesting that I still hung on to things and I forgot to use that philosophy. So it's really not until you start applying these ideas, applying these into your own life and taking action from a place of knowing that whatever it is that you assume you want, you're going to get it. You're going to assume the identity of the person that gets these things that you want. And you're going to allow these old things to crumble away because they're crumbling away for a reason, right? So attachment is a huge thing to recognize in your own life. It's huge because attachment causes pain. Attachment causes heartache. And like I said, attachment to old things that are falling away are just going to drag you down with it unless you wake up and recognize that you're attached to that thing that is kind of played out already, and it's the natural rhythm of life for things to fall away. There's a saying, and I'm sure you're probably aware of it, that there's people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? When they come into your life for a reason, it's like that guardian angel that's coming in, swooping in to help you with a certain part of your life, right? And then they're gone. and then you never see them again, but you always remember that goodness that they put into your life, right? For a season, this could be for a couple of years. This could be like a teacher, a good coach, right? Somebody that's there to help you even a little bit more deeper. If they're not just holding the door for you, right? They're actually walking you through that door and showing you what's on the other side and getting you more familiar with the grounds that the newfound place that you're in, right? So it's just about recognizing what you're clinging to and ask yourself, why are you clinging to this? What are you getting out of it? What is it doing for you? What is it allowing you to do? Those are big questions. That's very big questions, and something you might want to journal on if you're having a hard time letting go of things in your life, right? So another big thing that I find a lot of my clients actually have a hard time with is replaying old memories, but not just any old memories, painful memories. They have a hard time letting that go. They don't even realize that they're telling these old stories over and over again. And the only reason why they're still alive is because you are the one who keeps them alive by telling the story over and over again. If you feel that something is sad and hard to deal with, it's time to let it go. It's not serving any purpose. And the only purpose that it might be serving is giving you permission to be a certain way, right? Maybe you lost your job because of sickness, for example, right? And it's not that you were not good at the job, it's just that you couldn't operate that because you didn't actually want to be there. So you created this sickness subconsciously, it's all subconscious, so that you didn't have to be there anymore. So you had an excuse to leave early, right? But really, is that serving you? Is that sickness still serving you, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can do things. And it's interesting how the subconscious mind really takes a hold of you and creates this story that you operate from, right? So just be aware of the old stories that you're keeping alive in your energy field, right? If the story is a good one, great. Relive it over and over again, right? But if it's something that's, painful and hurtful and you're so angry that this happened and you keep telling it over and over again, right? It's not serving you any good. And the only good that it may be even serving is that people are feeling sorry for you. So you're getting attention, you're getting something that you want out of it, right? And that's the only reason why you continue doing it. And is that really a reason to do that, right? So today is really all about letting go of the old. So I'm going to tap into the cards. I have a question specifically for my Sacred Geometry deck. My Sacred Geometry. This is the deck where I ask, what energies in our aura, in our field, do we need to activate to attract, to magnetize different situations to ourselves, right? So we want to be clear on what we want to create with this newfound chapter, this new energy shift, this new place where the old isn't welcome anymore, right? We don't have to live in the past anymore. We can live in the now. We can bring our awareness back into the present moment, because in reality, that's all we ever have, is the present moment, is the here and now, right? We only live through the past through our stories. We only live through fears of the future through our projection of it, right? So it's just a matter of bringing your awareness into what's actually happening and what do you want to create. That's the only things that you should be paying attention to. That's the only thing that should be taking up your time and awareness, right? So what I wanted to know, I'm going to ask this deck, we're going to ask our angels and our guides to step forward and bring us the messages that we need to hear today. So what do we need to activate in order to usher in this new awareness of consciousness? That is my question. What do we need to activate in our energy field, in our aura, right? Our aura, by the way, goes 10 feet in diameter all around us. So, which is why you can always feel somebody walking up behind you, right? Because your aura is huge, right? So when you're in somebody else's aura, you feel their energy, right? So I'm just referring to this energy aura so that you know what we're activating in it. Because there's different frequencies that you can activate in your aura to magnetize different situations, different people, different things to come into your life, into your reality, right? Once you activate that part of you within you, it's like in your DNA. You're activating that part of your DNA to magnetize, to attract these things to come into your existence, right? So we want to know, what do we need to activate in order to usher in this new awareness of consciousness? Oh, okay. 2 popped out. So the first one that's going to bring us this new awareness, this new place of higher consciousness, is authority. The energy of authority. Owning your ground. Standing in what you know to be true for you. And if your old truths aren't working for you, this is your opportunity to change that. You have the authority to change your story to anything that you wish. And it will come into fruition as long as we stay focused on that. And don't give your attention or your focus, and don't feed into those fears. Don't feed into those judgments. Don't feed into those old stories. Stand in your authority for what you want. And the thing is too, is that you may not even know what you want, right? You've never ever taken the time to kind of tune into that part of you, to allow this imagination, this dream world to come alive, because you were taught not to live in that dream world. You were taught never to, adults don't do that, right? Children do that, right? That's kind of what we're coming from. Well, that's bullshit. Because guess what? The only way you can change the state of consciousness that you're in right now is shifting your imagination to something else, bringing in some new ideas, right? That's the only thing. And it's through your imagination, through that active thought patterns, paying attention to the things that you want is what's going to attract what you need, right? Stand in that authority. The card itself, it says the frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is power. It is. It's direct and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving, right? That's what true authority is. So even just think about the word authority in your own life, in your own situations, right? Where have you been lacking authority? What areas of your life could use a little bit more of you standing your ground and speaking your truth and asking for what you want, right? Don't be afraid to ever ask for what you want. You deserve everything. When you were born into this world, you were worthy and deserving of everything and more. And now, as an adult, nothing has changed except for your belief in that ability, right? So it's time to stand in your authority in a receptive, wise, and loving manner. That is powerful. The next one that came out for the question, what do we need to activate in order to usher in this new awareness of consciousness, is communication. Communication. So this is more like thought communication with yourself, with you and your higher self, with you and your other side of the veil, the guides, the angels, everyone that's watching over you right now. Communication is huge, right? And like I just said, you need to ask for what you want in an authoritative, loving, receptive way. And the card of communication, it says the frequency, so the feeling, the energy that communication brings, supports your ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart. So you're running every thought, not through your head. You want to go through your heart. What feels good for you, right? Every piece of information coming in and out, go through your heart and the center of your truth. Stay in the flow of source and balance exchange. So you're balancing that communication, those lines of communication. You're standing in your authority, asking for what you want, and then being receptive enough for it to come in, right? And that's really big. Whew. I don't know about you, but I feel a new age, a new energy is coming in, right? And it's just a matter of tuning into that new energy, because guess what? That energy, to be honest, has always been there. But it's just been dormant. It's just been inside, but you've been unaware of it, so you haven't used it. It's like that certain talent that you used to have, that, you know, riding a bike. You learn to ride a bike, but you never forget it. It's something you can always pick up again and sharpen that tool, sharpen that talent, sharpen that muscle, right? It's like that with anything. So my next question, I'm actually bringing out a different deck, the Butterfly Oracle deck. It's for the life changes, because I feel like there's some big life changes coming for a lot of you in this group, and which is an exciting thing. And a lot of times when people think of life changes, they kind of get scared, and they kind of, you know, are anxious and, you know, unaware of thinking that, you know, they're assuming that the change could be bad, right? But we just need to claim back our power and realize that changes are actually good. You don't want to stay in the same place for too long. It's going to get stagnant. It's going to get unbearable, right? Allow yourself to unfold and unlock a new part of you that's been dormant for a while, right? So for these life changes that are coming up, I want to know, what are they? And what can we expect to show up in our lives? What are some life changes for the people that are watching this video? What can we expect to show up? I love this. This is interesting. Whoop, there's one. Okay, I'm gonna pull out one more. I got 2 cards, and I'm gonna pull out one more. I'm actually, okay. Okay, so what kind of changes can we expect to show up? Something that's going to require courage. Something for you to be courageous. There's a change coming, something's coming up, opening up a new era. We're all ushering in this new era, by the way. This age of Aquarius, this golden age, this state of higher consciousness. That's what we're going into. That's why I'm doing this group. That's why I coach, right? There's all these things that are happening, and it's going to require a little bit of courage on your part. There's definitely going to be some courage in there. There's going to be a call for you to be courageous, to speak your truth. That's going to be, and open up your awareness. Open up your third eye. I don't know about you, but I know sometimes when I rub my third eye, I can feel it kind of wake up and come alive, almost like turning on a light, like a switch. That's what this courage is asking you to do. To be courageous. Do something you've never done before. That's the change that's coming in. It's going to ask you to do something. Leap and the net will appear, right? That's what I'm feeling from this. There's some blue in this butterfly. Blue represents, now this type of blue is more of a third eye blue, because throat blue is more lighter. It's more like this, right? These are different chakras that I'm getting into now. But this blue that it's showing right here in the butterfly, that's more for psychic awareness. That's more for that connection to the other side, to your higher self, to your inner knowing, right? It's going to require courage for you to take that next step, that next leap, whatever it is that you're doing. And the biggest, most important thing is get some rest. Because with change, it requires you to, it requires effort, to say the least, right? And when you're putting out a lot of effort, your body is exerting a lot harder than it usually is, right? And when you're using a lot more of a mental energy, that can be more draining than running a marathon. You know, there's a point in time where, before I started doing my work, when I was really lost in anxiety and depression, I was really, really in a hard place. And I found that some days I literally felt like I ran a marathon and I did nothing. I could have slept all that day, but because my mind was just going with ideas, with fears, with all of these stories, these things that I wish I didn't do, or wish I didn't have in my life, or I wish I could change, but I felt so powerless, right? These are all just stories. These are all just collective stories that I've carried over time, right? And it wasn't until I let that go and allowed myself to fully step into who I am now, I had to rest a lot, right? Like, that's the thing, is this mind energy that you're expelling does a lot more to you than you really think, right? So it's really, that's why I work so closely with mind, emotions, thoughts, and speech, and the connection between that, because the energy that we expel from just thinking about these things and spending that time in there, it can be just draining, right? And so just allow your body to integrate into this new energy, right? If you're stepping forward and taking new steps towards whatever it is that you want, do it in a fashion that's not, it's in a way of the least resistance, right? The way of least resistance, the path of least resistance, is stepping into something that you actually want without reservations, without talking yourself out of it before you even take your first step, right? That's the biggest thing. So get some rest. Allow yourself to integrate in a slow way. Nothing happens overnight, and nothing forced feels good anyway. The last card that came out was decisions. There's going to be some life decisions that you're going to have to make, right? And which makes sense, because I was tapping in earlier to the energy of things breaking down, of letting go of all of these things that you need to let go of, because otherwise you're going to get dragged, right? Those require you to make decisions. That requires you to think about your truth. What is actually true for you, and what feels good and what doesn't? And if it doesn't feel good, how can you make that feel good? Or how can you just let it go? Allow that thing that's draining your energies to fall away naturally. Don't force it. Just shift your attention to something else, something that's going to help you move through this part of your chapter, a part of our evolutionary chapter, in the most easiest path, least of resistance that you can find, right? And again, if you need help with that, that's something that I specialize in, and that's what I'm offering in my 4-month awakening coaching series. So that is very important. Okay, so now I'm gonna just tap into one more card, which is our animal deck. I love this one because we get so many interesting animals, and lately, I don't know about you guys, but the other night I was outside looking at the stars, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I heard an owl, which was very interesting. And I checked into the meaning of an owl, and the owl is actually something that brings innate wisdom, right? This acknowledgement that you've come to this place in your life, that you've gained the wisdom that you need to move forward, right? So it was a very beautiful thing. So that was my own personal one, but I want to know now the animal that's going to hold the message for all of us here in this group, right? What is the energy that we need to move? So let me see here. The question that I wrote down earlier was, what are you being asked to let go of? And whatever is becoming difficult or hard to manage, it's time to let it go, right? So I think the animal is going to help us really let go of that old stagnant part of us. Let's see what, here it is. Ooh, okay. So the card that came out was the badger. The badger. Interesting. What does this say? It says, bring your life into balance. That is very interesting. Okay, so I want to pull the book out, and then let's see what the book has to say about the badger. Okay, so the guidance from the badger, it says, when you receive this card, it suggests that you need to strengthen your aura by building your confidence and expanding your heart. I literally told you that in the beginning of this whole reading, right? We were talking about the aura, how to cleanse it, how to that we need to put things into your aura to magnetize, to attract things, right? So this is telling you it's suggesting to strengthen your aura. Now, There's many techniques that you can use to strengthen your aura, and I've shared them here in the group. That's maybe something that I'll share again earlier on in this week. Kind of help you along the week and the energy throughout the week, right? So it says, invoke the great Archangel Mary, so Jesus's mother, to ask her to bathe you in love. Sit quietly and receive it. And this is something that you can just do with your imagination. Close your eyes. Let's do this now, okay? Let's do this now. If you are watching this now, live or the replay, we're all gonna do this together, okay? So we're gonna ask for Archangel Mary to step forward now. When she comes in, the feeling she has is so motherly, so nurturing, so incredible. It's definitely love, the most purest form of love. We're gonna ask her to bathe us in this love. So I want you just to imagine Mother Mary pouring this white golden light all over you. And that golden light is love. It's pouring into your body, into your soul, into your heart. Just allow that energy to come into your existence, into your being, into your body, into your physical body. Just bring it in and it's like a shower of love and just joy. Take a deep breath. Bathe in that, allow it and receive it. Receive the love because you are loved. Breathe in her energy. Breathe it in and out around you until you are completely surrounded by this blue cocoon of high frequency light. So, okay, let's do that. Close your eyes and imagine this cocoon around you, this really high frequency of light, this high vibration, this high loving nature, right? Completely surrounded, completely safe and secure. And breathe it in. Breathe in. And out. Again, in. And out. Accepting it, loving it, embracing it. This is going to be doing amazing things for you. This is going to help you to deal with any negativity that others send towards you. How beautiful is that? So the badger, this is the message of the badger. It says it also calls you to do service work for the planet. Connect to the energy through this card and the great silver angel in charge of the Earth Star. Let Mother Mary's love light flow through you and into the earth. So when you're imagining this light, you're allowing it to flow through your physical body, all the way down through to your feet, through to the floor, into the ground. Connect it and push that light through you and allow it to just flow. The badgers remind you to bring your life into balance. This may be to draw your leisure and your work lives into harmony, to share chores in your home, or to bring your masculine and feminine energies into an equilibrium. And you can also fulfill your purpose with joy. That's beautiful. That, I think, was really needed. I feel like that Mother Mary visual that we just did was necessary to allow the energies of the old to break away and welcome and usher in the new age that we're now ascending into. That is a very beautiful reminder of where we're going and what you are now bringing in to your awareness, to your bringing into this consciousness that you're holding within your body, right? That was beautiful. I feel anytime I work with Mother Mary, to be honest, I get filled with such love and joy that I just start bursting at the seams, I guess. But that's it for me. So I just wanted to let you guys know again that I am booking consultation calls all this week, all next week, and the next weeks after. I'm really bringing in anyone who is ready. So I'm calling out to all of you empaths, all of you healers out there, everyone that's, you know, in a place where you want to jump ahead, where you're ready to accelerate your growth. You're ready to accelerate your spiritual development and your personal growth. That's what these 4-month coaching is all about. So I invite you to message me and let's get started on this. Let's do this, right? All right. So I send you so much love and so much light, and that is it for me today, but I will see you again very soon. All right. Mwah. Take care.